Hello YouTube, this is Tammy Pie, and I'm back with another video. I'm here with the unpaid intern. We're having a nap. I'm bringing you today, hopefully, if my other video wasn't corrupted, good old decks, hashtag good old decks to Nova Mundi Tarot. Let's give it a try. Alright, so hopefully you know already this is not going to be an exhaustive list. However, it is interesting to me. This is part of the how and why we look for vintage decks, because both these decks are widely available. They've been printed for a really long time, and you have no problem getting them in most places where they sell tarot decks. Okay, so this is the RWS. However, this version of the RWS is from, I think, the mid 80s. I believe it's the mid 80s. I spent a bunch of time studying and trying to figure out. So the bookend card that protects the cards has this. The catalog is $2. These are the books that are listed. And the little white book, which I think we figured out that little white books were reprinted in batches and then just thrown in the thing. So it's very hard to tell just by the little white book. But, and of course I don't have the box right here with me. However, this little copyright here on the very bottom is very small. And we still have Pixie's font here, which that was really important to me when I finally broke down and said, okay, I'm going to have RWS. I bought 3 RWSs off of eBay. I got one that was a current printing and I hated it because I hated the plastically kind of thick. I just thought the cardstock was really ugly. I got this one and I got my Blushing Fool. And that was right out of the gate. And it was because I studied other people's suggestions on boxes and books and how to look for it. And also, I watched somebody, I want to say it was Ragged Poet, shuffling this deck. And this has the sweetest shuffle of any RWS that I've ever seen or touched, including the Blushing Fool, which has really, it has beautiful papery cardstock, but this one, for some reason, the shuffle is just really, really, really nice. Okay, so this one, it's all about the cardstock, but also a little bit, you know, the Pixie's fonts and the that little copyright sign. Because it's so tiny there, that makes it less obnoxious. This is an older printing, and it just so happens that I found this on the trade table at Newt's one year, along with the book. So this has been being printed since 1992. Yeah. And the thing that I didn't get, and I tried to get it in a trade at one point, but the deck didn't have it. I guess they misplaced it or forgot about it, or it was somewhere in their house. But I got a later edition of this deck just because I wanted that the little clear thing that they give you with the Tree of Life, so I could look at these cards with a Tree of Life behind them. But honestly, I have that in my head. So, and I think this printing, I think the font is slightly different maybe, but the cardstock is definitely different. And the feel of the cards, it could just be all in my head because I'm really bonded to this one. And it was like a super good vibe way that I got it. And I had some just amazing readings with it, including this card, which I pointed out to people was just like a message during a really grieving time for me. And I don't know, I really love this deck, and I really love this particular version of it. I just think that this cardstock is particularly nice. But they're always coming because there's a Harley Davidson repair shop right around the corner. Um, I have the first edition of Ritual Tarot, and I think I put this in pretty much in order. I was trying to figure out if I knew which cards were which. I got them almost entirely in order. I think I transposed the Hierophant and the Magician of all the weird things to do. However, this original version, because of the backs, because of the cardstock, the only thing I'm missing is the Lust card. I really wish I had the Lust card with the same backs, but I didn't jump on that fast enough. At the time, I bought this off a friend secondhand so that she could go out and get the one with the new Lust card. But Ritual is just, I love this deck, and I love how she originally did it. And I personally don't think you even need the titles at all. For one thing, I was able to put this in order without the book and without too much trouble. See, you know what this is? Yeah, I transposed the Magician. Anyway, but it's fine. It doesn't even matter. It really doesn't matter, because when you're doing readings with it, all that really matters is the imagery. So you don't have to go, oh, well, 2 of Wands, and this is a guy looking out over the. You don't have to do all that. Just use the imagery that's in front of you, the cards that are in front of you. And I don't know. It's a beautiful deck, and I like it in its original form. And yeah, I'm probably going to get more of her work. I haven't gotten the Cave of Sybil. It's so intense, y'all. It's one of those things I feel about the Cave of Sybil the same way I felt about Marielle. It's just like, you got to be ready for it, right? Okay, so since I brought up Marielle, let's talk about Marielle. I was one of the people that used to always grumble about the Hierophant card because she's kind of ugly. She really is. But she's also iconic. And the new one just it's not the same thing. It's not the same. Here she is. So, you know, the fear and what are these 2 little babies supposed to be suckling at the tit of the church? This is an angry card. She was angry when she thought this up, right? It's cool. I love it. This artwork is so intense. You can't not have that intense Hierophant in there. And there were a couple of other cards. One of them is Judgment, that I really felt like that first iteration, and this one, the 3 of Swords. I just feel like that is it for me. So, in part because I've spent my formative time with the Marielle with this deck. The other one I've never even attempted a second edition. Oh, this is one of them too. And this card is so interesting. It took so much out of me to get here with this card, with her little antennae feeling out into the universe. Oh my God, it's so good. Let me see if I can run into the love that. artists. The Hermit. Yes, the Strength card. Oh my God, there it is. And, it's just, they're iconic cards, and I like the earlier edition. This is another one. I've had this deck for a really long time, like 12 years, maybe longer. And when I got this one, this was the older print. So this deck came out in 85, 1985. And it's the, how you tell this, the window box. This is the edition that you want. And this is because of the print, this ink. For some reason, the later editions don't have the same kind of ink and cardstock. I don't know why. I am not privy to the printing situation, but this version of Medieval Scapini is the version to have. And I'm really glad that I was consuming some YouTube before I bought this, because sometimes you get a deck and you feel the cardstock and you're like, why do people like this? That's how I felt about the texture tarot. I'm telling you. Why do people even? I had trouble even looking at the imagery. But this is a great one that is Luigi Scapini did the extra cards in the Madrone. He's the artist who did that for the later publishers. And he also, he's done several decks. The Romeo and Juliet deck, the Bacchus deck, the stained glass deck that I showed in, I think, my last video, because it's one of my more beautiful decks. But this one has a lot of funny stuff in it. The court cards are very interesting. So it's done after the Visconti Sforza, right? You could tell by the backgrounds and stuff. But he adds in his own, and there's Romeo and Juliet. He adds in his own little funny thing, because he's an artist who knows the tarot very well. Here's one you've seen a million times. This is the first edition of Dame Darcy's first deck, the Mermaid Tarot. And this one was embroiled in some controversy, but any advertising is good advertising, apparently, because she's been creating more decks and selling edition after edition ever since. But this first edition, this first kind of make playing cards, I'm going to make a tarot deck and sell them out of my Etsy shop. This edition is the one that I am completely and totally attached to. But I do kind of want the newest one. I kind of do. Can't lie. Cara at Cara Tarot was doing a few days ago, she did a video that had this Tyldwick tarot in it. And the thing is, the edition she has is, I think it's the second edition, or it might be the 10-year anniversary. It's the 10-year anniversary edition. And I think he has changed the artwork a couple of times. But this artwork is exactly as it's meant to be. This is how Neil envisioned this deck. And it is kind of like you see these things like you were seeing them on a foggy day. But this is the way he meant for it to be. This background, the backs are the way he meant for it to be, which frustrates me a little bit that his brother changed it. I wish he would have just left it alone, honestly. And I don't think I'm the only one. But it is hard to make out all the little details. I'm going to tell you something though. As I was watching her flip through it, she had the cards all reordered, so they were full through the world and etc. And I noticed that the majors all look like RWS majors. So if you hold this Hierophant up to the RWS Hierophant, it looks like it. So you don't even really have to see all the elements. You can just let your eyes defocus, and that's what you have if you're used to the cards. I still got to do one last episode with the Tyldwick as a live. I swear I'm going to do it. I just have to come up with a good time when other people can deal with my time zone and I'm not busy doing everything. Okay, this is the Llewellyn version of the Buddha Tarot. And the current version that you can get from Schiffer, let's say it's Schiffer Red Feather, is the one that reprinted it, is it's a much, I don't know how I get these all wrong, but it's a much larger deck now. They switch things around with the borders, so this colored border is just gone, which I think is a real loss because the suits are changed so dramatically that the colored border really serves you. It really helps. This is the height of Robert and Place. This one and the Vampire. Oh, these are such good decks. Such interesting ways of layering a whole nother thing onto it. And of course, I bought the new edition because I wanted the book. Because the book was going for crazy prices, and when people started to know that the new edition was coming out, it went down to like $45 or whatever for the old one. I got a great reading with this. These semi-illustrated pips are outstanding. They're so good. And other people who are Buddhists have fallen in love with this deck. I'm telling you, this is the one. It's just like people who love their Gaian, they love their Llewellyn Gaian. It's because this card stuff is unbeatable. And I like this one so much better. So much better. Look at these. I'm going to go through all these and rearrange them so they're not half upside down or shuffled with reversals in them. Every once in a while I go through a thing where I'm going to do reversals. Oh, sorry. Okay. This was one of the first ones that I thought of. Now, this was technically mass market, and it was also technically the second edition because she put out an indie version of this. But this is done by a company called Kunadi. And this one, I love the backs. And I like the gilding that's on this. I've used a heck out of this. And I really like their treatment of, these cards are mattes. Their treatment of the borders in this one is better. Touchstone is a great deck. This to me is Cat Black's masterpiece. But that's me. Other people like other decks of hers better. And that's cool. You do you. But to me, this is the one. It's got a sense of humor. This is collage, but it's collage done in this kind of piecemeal way, almost like Baba Studios does it, where she will put a different head on there or add a dog or So it isn't just that she's adding cups and wands and whatnot. It's also that she put these things together so that they're. I love that the aces are angels. Anyway, this is the better edition. Okay, 3 more decks. Hang in there. I have good ones here. This is a recent get for me. And interestingly enough, it came in a second edition box. I didn't even realize because I sometimes I just don't pay attention. But I like the first edition better. I like this glossy cardstock. I like the backs. This is one where I really, and this shuffles like a dream. I love how this shuffles. Of course, I got it used, so that might be in part. But because of this finish on these cards, the colors are brighter. And to me, I think that's what she meant to do. This is really cool. I have the book in the apartment. I haven't used this deck very much, but Bonefire seems like an August thing to check out. I'm using this one. I love this artist. She's another one. If I could, I would have everything she's ever done. I do have. I mean, it's not like she's done a ton of decks, so I have most of them. I don't have the black and white one, but maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. Bonfire. I like the old edition better. All right. And yes, I am melting. Urban Tarot. The old edition is smaller. It fits in my hand. The new edition is great though. I like what they did with the borders on the new edition. And it is really nice in that big version because you can really see the artwork. But I do like this smaller one. And I needed that card. This was a big moment in my life. I had friends and family that were there when this happened. And it was such a life-changing moment. I needed that particular card. And people were kind of pissed off at her for doing this, but, love this temperance. It's so good. Art. And this is one of the only, at the time when Robin put this out, this was one of the only Thoth decks that wasn't just a copy of Thoth. M.M. Moline had the Rosetta. The old Duck Soup was putting out Thoth decks. There were a couple other ones, but mostly people were doing RWS copies. All right, so this is one of my prized possessions. This is the old Baba Studios, and I think this is before they were Baba. They were. I can't think of it right this second. I'll try and remember and put it up on the screen, but this is the first version of the Fantastic Menagerie. And if I'm honest, I hate this cardstock. I hate their old cardstock. It's thin and it's nice and matte and everything, but it's hard to shuffle. It's got this weird thing going on where it was put together kind of funny. Anyway, maybe I'll soap it and see what happens. But this one has none of the metallic stuff on it. And I did get the new edition with the metallic, and it's not the same. This artwork was done. It was done at a time when they wouldn't have had that. So, and some of the cards she changed the imagery too. I think this is one of them. So I feel like this is most definitely the better edition of this deck. That one. It's just awesome. It's an awesome deck. It's fun to play with. I kind of wish I still had the old one, but I think I sold it or I traded for something. Because I just didn't think it was as good. This one is really, really good. And it suits the art. Anyway, so I am just about done melting. I need to get back for evening classes. And thank you for coming.